Alright, so we did question 3-4, and then a lot of times on the exam they have you then modify the part and do some more stuff with it. So the first thing that is going to happen is that on this part 2 of it, we're going to start basically looking right here on down. So material is the same, still metric, origin is still arbitrary. We have to change A, B, and C, so that should be pretty easy to do. If I left click my sketch, hit edit sketch, I know that 81 is now 84, and 57 is now 59. Save your changes, and then if I left click here and hit edit feature, it went from 43 to 45. So if you modeled your sketch and dimensioned it well, it should basically be able to change those, and it shouldn't change the other things, but it'd be a good idea to just double check that when you made those changes that it didn't change anything else, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, so now looks like we have to basically take a slot out of this thing, and so what you're going to want to do, at least in my opinion, is you're going to want to go to the top view, and we're going to need to insert a plane. So if I click on front and I hold the control key, I can drag and drop a plane a certain distance. So I'm going to go ahead and type in 12. You can see that 12 there. Okay. And now I have a new plane to work on there. And so what I want to do now is I'm going to hit the space bar, go to the front view, and while plane 1 is highlighted, I'm going to go ahead and do a sketch on there. And a couple things I need to do are I need to draw in this radius here. So I know that there's definitely a line that's important that goes from here to here is 36. So I'm going to draw that in because I think that's probably important. And we know it's a radius of 41. So 3-point arc, it's going to be one of these ones that's going to work. So if I pick this one and I go from here, somewhere up here, and bend it, dimension it, 41. Okay, so you can see it's starting where I need to start. It's definitely 41. So that is drawn correctly. And it's important to have that there. Also, these other lines, I could, well, I might not have to. Okay, so I got this done. This line's done. What I can do now is, there's several ways to do it. I could convert entities, these lines. I could also just like draw straight up and over here and down, just to make a continuous I guess entity. So now what I could do, I could go to cut, and I'm going to flip the side to cut. Sorry, not flip the side, I meant to say flip the direction to cut. And the reason I'm going to enter 24 is because it says it right there. So if I enter 24, that should look like what I need. So that's one way of many to cut that out. Alright, so that part's done. How about I do this the circle next? So I know on here I'm going to do a new sketch. Draw the circle, it's about right there. And we know from these dimensions right over here, we know the circle is 14 meters. From here to here is 14. And we know from here to here is, there we go. We know that guy's going to also be 14. And the diameter is 11. Alright, so that looks like I have all the dimensions. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that through all. So that's done. Alright. So it's coming along here. So we have this part taken care of. But this little section right here we have to tackle next. So what I'm going to do now is try and find the dimensions that are relative to that. I'd probably say the hardest thing about the test for a new student that doesn't have the recommended 6 months experience is just knowing how to look at these dimensions and figure out, like, hey, where do I get the dimensions for this? And you have to look at these different views and figure it out. And definitely this 19 is important. It's showing you from the top view that that's where this line goes back. And then you can see this bold line right here, the object line. That's 52 over from the right. So 52 and 19 are the key, but also look, you know, this section's cut here, but also down here, this area is also cut. So when we look at the SolidWorks part right here, you know, this area in here is going to have to also be shaved away. So there's two things that has to happen. Alright, so 52 and 19. So on this sketch right here, go ahead and draw a line. It goes straight down, and then goes straight over here. And so we know that from here to here, it's going to be 52. Drawing right over here again. It's going to go in 19. Alright, 19's there. Enter. Alright, that looks like it's right. Alright, so the next part of this, right here, basically what you have to do is you have to hollow out this. In SolidWorks they call that, there's a shell command that works well sometimes for this. And so this little 1 TYP means one typical, meaning that it's going to be on this side too. Instead of them putting one typical here, it's just, this is one typical across this whole area here. So that's what TYP means. And this marker right here is a section marker, meaning that you can look over here. This is a section view. It says U here, and there's U there, so these guys align up. And the section view basically tells you that you're going to make this hollow back in here and stop 12 from the far end, I guess you'd say. So in SolidWorks, a lot of times, if it's an easier part, you can just click shell and click a face, and how much you put 1 there, and it could work. But because of the way this part's designed, I haven't found a way to do that. So with the shell command. So the way I have found it worked is if you click this and you do a new sketch, and then what you can do is you can offset these entities 1 millimeter, reverse the direction. So it's a really pretty fast command. 1 right there, enter. So that part's good. So now I could go ahead and use the cut. I can't go all the way in because that wouldn't really work out. But I am going to go in like, this. If I click that right there, I want to go just inside of that. So I have to figure out how many millimeters that I'm going to basically type in for that to work. So if you look on this, if that's 9, I'm going to want to go 1 millimeter in from there, and that would basically get it to where I'd be going in the right distance. So right there is 1 millimeter, typical again, TYP. Alright, let's take a look at this real fast again. You can see that it keeps going in, keeps being hollow right there from that picture. And also from this view you can tell it keeps going in. It's still hollow right there. So we have to then do one more sketch. And before we do anything, I could also just show you a quick trick here. I could also go to the top view, and I could click on, just do a new sketch on here. I'm just going to draw a line going from here to there. Oops. And I could even dimension that at 12, or you could do the math so that you have that. What we have to do basically is we have to do another sketch here. So I'm going to go ahead and click here, do a new sketch. Alright, so I got this sketch drawn right here. I'm going to go to Offset Entities, offset this one 1 millimeter that direction. And at that point, I could go ahead and delete this line here. And so now, I have all that drawn. And do some trimming here too. Let's see if I can now go ahead and just, without doing all the trimming, if I can just go ahead and cut this in here. So click that. And I'm going 25 millimeters. Nope, I gotta fix that sketch up here. So I'm going to go left click, so that looks good. Over here, left click, that's fine. And now, go ahead and try and see if I can trim this now. Cut now. 25 millimeters. Alright, so that worked. Looks like it's done correctly. So, hopefully that helps. You want to do this over and over until you can, do it fast with confidence, and keep doing more of these lessons coming soon. Thanks for watching.